temperatures are dropping and the nation is feeling the effects.
With the election 1 week away, an update on our latest voting numbers.
Game 6 of the World Series is tonight in Arlington. Will the Dodgers close it out?
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
From summer-like sun and heat to winter with a vengeance, you are looking at a live radar of the Denton area, and it was messy all during the day.
The cold front dropped temperatures and brought in cold rain. We have more coming in, but nothing like what hit Abilene and parts of Oklahoma. Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Blake Weiland.
And I'm Jordan Miller. Well, Blake, I woke up this morning and I was wondering if I somehow ended up in Alaska. It's freezing out today.
Well, Jordan, I think the rest of Denton was wondering the same thing. But we know that cold weather never seems to last long here in Texas. So let's throw it over to our weather anchor, Andrew Fancher, for what we can expect in the next 24 hours. Andrew?
Well, Blake, one thing I can tell you out here is that it is cold. So cold, in fact, that I can no longer feel my hands. And that may be due large in part to our current condition, because it is exactly freezing. It's 32 degrees with a wind speed of 11 miles per hour from the north. Feels like 39. And of course, we have some drizzle coming down on us right now. Now, as we move into tonight, from 7 to 11, we'll see temperatures of 40 degrees that feel like 33. So still keep it consistent with the temperatures we have now. And as we move into tomorrow, the daily high is going to be 47 degrees, so still pretty cold. That 47 is going to feel like 41 with a 13-mile-an-hour wind speed from the northwest. Now, sorry, I had to get my notes here. It's a little wet outside. Now, one place that didn't dodge a bullet this week is Oklahoma, involving weather, because with an early hit of wintry weather, it rained down ice on the roadways in Oklahoma. Dylan Richards has more to show us.
Not just slippery roads, it was high water too. Police having to close a section of Sooner and Tinker Diagonal here in Midwest City. Deceptively deep water stalling cars. Some smaller cars stuck, fire officials having to help one person out. Meantime, on the highways, crashes, cars spun out, slush and water on the roads, plus low visibility. The worst conditions we saw concentrated east of OKC, where the sleet came down early. 1724. Emergency crews scrambling amid a flurry of 911 calls. A car slamming into a ditch on I-240, and also on I-240 near Anderson, this pickup truck spinning off the road, taking out a highway sign with it. It all comes as the first ice storm of the year batters the metro, the earliest ice storm warning that the Weather Service in Norman has ever issued.
So we're going straight to you.
Come on back inside. Well, our reporter Kayla Holt is outside in the cold at Denton Fire Station number 3 with an update on when we can expect things to be up and running. Kayla?
That's right. It's a little bit chilly outside, but at least it's not snowing. Right now I'm outside of Denton Firehouse number 3 with updates on when we may be expecting the opening of the new fire station. Denton Fire Station number 3 has been serving Denton and UNT since 1971, so naturally an upgrade was definitely needed. The fire station's makeover calls for 16,000 square feet of space, which will house up to 11 firefighters and 3 emergency vehicles. Originally, the firehouse was supposed to be opening October of 2020, but construction is now expected to be complete in January of 2021. For ntTV News, I'm Kayla Holt. Back to you in the studio.
A developing story tonight. There may be a breakthrough in the race to develop a COVID-19 vaccine. Today, the drug company Pfizer announced it will apply for emergency use authorization for its COVID-19 vaccine. If approved, the company could start mass producing the vaccine. Pfizer is in the final stage of their testing process. The trial was recently expanded to include children around 12 and people with other chronic illnesses. And a vaccine can't come too soon for the nation and the world. Here in Denton County, officials reported today another 5 people have died from the virus, along with 164 new cases. County health officials are concerned over the rising hospitalization numbers, which are trending up. Yesterday, the number of beds in the county occupied by COVID patients was just over 12%. Today, that number is 13.1%. There are just over 2,800 active cases in the county. On the UNT campus, we have 23 active cases with a direct impact on the campus, and there are 37 cases with an indirect campus impact, for a total of 60 for this week. If you are interested in a COVID test, head over to UNT's Discovery Park on Friday. The tests are free, but you must register.
Besides the impact on health, the COVID pandemic has caused upheaval in the economy. Jobs have been lost and families are struggling to keep food on the table. UNT researchers have teamed up with the Catholic Charities of Fort Worth to try and help that situation. This interactive map provides a more efficient way to connect people who need food with food pantries in Tarrant County. UNT students spent 4 years working on this project. They worked out where the need was greatest and helped officials understand how to provide resources. The goal is to make it available to the public at large in the future. Many businesses now are getting somewhat of a makeover for the coronavirus era. Among these businesses are Burger King, Popeyes, and the Tim Hortons. The owner says they plan to modernize their drive-thrus at more than 10,000 restaurants in North America by the middle of 2022. In order to offer contactless payments, they plan to implement digital menu screens. They also intend to integrate loyalty programs and predictive selling technology to suggest products based on the weather, time of day, and trending items. COVID has definitely impacted the future of businesses, and I have a feeling this is just the beginning of many things to come. And if you are in need of a job, Amazon will be opening 100,000 positions this holiday season. This is their most recent hiring wave as the company continues to keep up with the increasing demand during the pandemic, with the minimum wage being $15 an hour and holiday business bonus incentives. It's the perfect way to make a little extra money for the holidays.
The election is 1 week away and voter turnout continues to impress. We've got the latest on that.
Plus, with all this weather change, we will fill you in on the full details of what to expect. The U.S. Supreme Court once again has 9 members. In a controversial confirmation process, Amy Coney Barrett is officially a Supreme Court justice. This leaves the Supreme Court with a 6-3 conservative majority. President Donald Trump nominated Barrett at the end of September to fill the seat of late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Facebook is doing their part to encourage people to vote. There is only 1 week left until the election, and Facebook is making sure everyone's vote is heard. USA Today reported that the social media giant has signed up nearly 5 million people to vote. The Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, shared the achievement in a post on Monday. Zuckerberg wrote, quote, "This year we launched the largest voting information campaign in U.S. history with the goal of helping 4 million people register to vote. Today we hit our goal." Online registration is still open in several states, and Facebook said their work isn't done yet. And based on the voting turnout here in Texas, a lot of those newly registered voters came from the Lone Star State. Political experts say by the time all votes are counted next week, it will be a record turnout. North Texas is in the spotlight because Tarrant County is the largest Republican county in the nation. While there has been a heavy turnout in Tarrant, other more Democratic-leaning counties, such as Denton and Collin, have also had record turnouts. All this is making Texas more of a battleground state than ever before. With Election Day exactly 1 week away, the Trump and Biden campaigns are driving people to the polls. More people have cast their ballots early than in all of 2016 election, meaning early voting has hit record numbers. Dana Bash has more.
University of Virginia sophomore Libby Klinger is up early on a Saturday, ready to roll.
These people will probably be home now.
Joining fellow campus Republicans to get out the vote.
There is a lot of enthusiasm among young conservatives to vote, especially in this critical year with everything that's been going on with the pandemic. We're out here canvassing today. So.
They're the diehards, but still say everyone they know is voting.
People are really starting to recognize just all of the different chaos within the political climate right now, that voting is the only real say that we can have.
UVA Democrats are driving people to the polls. Hunter Hess waited with Maeve Connick for over an hour to cast an early vote.
We've been doing it a lot, especially with first-year students who don't know the voting process very well.
I don't know if I know anyone, any of my personal friends who haven't voted already.
On the lawn, these students say voting is trendy.
People on social media, they'll post a picture of them and their ballot, them and their I voted sticker.
So it's almost like you feel a little peer pressure to vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Young voters are a crucial part of the electorate and are already making up a large share of early voting across 14 key states compared to 2016. In Wisconsin, early voting among young people is up from where it was in 2016, and both parties are working it.
We've seen an increase in the number of people asking questions about how to get registered to vote and trying to get registered to vote.
The share of the youth vote is almost double what it was this time 4 years ago in Florida.
Welcome to the FSU and FAMU College Democrats.
College students here and across the pandemic-stricken country largely organized virtually. Youth turnout broke records in 2018, and researchers at Tisch College's Circle at Tufts University say protests across the country help keep the surge going.
We found that young people who were marching and demonstrating not only were more likely to be registering people to vote, but were much more likely to be talking to other young people about the election and issues that they care about.
Democrats say that's the climate crisis and racial justice. Republicans, the economy and jobs. The Biden campaign motto is to reach young people where they are, launching Biden-Harris designs for players on the popular Nintendo game Animal Crossing. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gaming on the social media platform Twitch.
Oh, snap.
Joe Biden talking to Cardi B.
Even if my pop wins.
And his granddaughters with young influencers like Kaya Gerber and Maddie Ziegler. The Trump campaign says their best influencers are regular young people reaching out to friends, like in a March Madness-style competition called MAGA Madness.
Particularly right now, they're online, especially in this environment that we're in. So leaning into digital platforms is the best way we can reach young voters.
I don't know if it's because the pandemic has reduced the number of activities that we can do that everyone's turn their attention. Yeah, there's fewer sports to follow, so this is the thing everyone's focused on.
Back on the lawn at UVA, some students are more passionate for the act of voting than the candidates. These three voted for Biden.
Are you excited?
I'm not excited about him, but I like that he at least focuses on climate policy.
Some Republican students say the same.
I had my concerns. He wasn't too conservative, however. Big fan of the tax cuts.
Kira Godu, president of UVA College Democrats, organizes phone banking to voters in Virginia and battleground states across the country. She says young Democrats are motivated by Trump's 2016 win.
The evidence that he can win an election, which we didn't have that last time.
It was a wake-up call for you.
Yeah.
This enthusiasm from young voters around America is inspiring as election night inches closer.
The weather does not seem to be looking up in the U.S. The Gulf Coast is preparing for yet another hurricane, their fifth one this year, while the West Coast continues their fight with wildfires. Mandy Gaither has more.
Our priority right now is getting people evacuated and out of the path of the fire.
More than 100,000 residents are under mandatory evacuations in California as wildfires once again erupt. This time, 2 wildfires are causing destruction in Orange County, the Silverado fire near Irvine and the Blue Ridge fire near Yorba Linda. At least 700 people were battling the fires, and on Monday, 2 of them sustained critical injuries.
One has 65% burns, both second and third degree. The second has 50%, both second and third degree burns. Both are intubated at this time.
High winds and warmer temperatures are helping the fires grow. And along the Gulf Coast, residents there bracing for yet another hurricane. After hitting parts of Mexico Monday, Zeta is expected to make landfall as a Category 1 storm Wednesday evening. That would make Zeta the 5th named storm to hit Louisiana this year, the most ever to hit that state in one season.
We just need to be prepared this year. We've broken a lot of records, not necessarily in a good way, but we just need to be prepared that, hopefully this is the last one, but I said that 3 hurricanes ago.
Hurricane warnings have been issued from Morgan City, Louisiana to the Mississippi-Alabama border. I'm Mandy Gaither reporting.
Well, Blake, I personally am a big fan of apple cider, and with this freezing weather, I think I definitely need a mug of something warm. How about you?
I couldn't agree more, Jordan. Let's see if our weather anchor, Andrew, knows if this cold weather is going to stick around long enough for you to get your apple cider. Andrew?
Well, Blake, I tell you what, it feels a lot better to be in the studio where it's a tad bit warmer than outside. If you look across the region, you will see we have those exactly freezing temperatures, and a little bit above we see 32 degrees in Graham, 36 in Decatur, and in fact the warmest temperature is 49 degrees in Sulphur Springs, which is directly behind me. Now as you look across the state, we will see these temperatures still pretty consistent. We see 33 degrees in El Paso, still warmer there than it is here in Denton. Now as we move in, you will see surprisingly the temperatures get to be a little warmer around the coast. 71 degrees in Houston, 63 in Shreveport, but that doesn't affect any of us here. I have saved the best for last, and that is the 7-day forecast. Because if you look here, we're going to have a cold week, a cold and dark week ahead of us. We see 47 degrees as the high for tomorrow, 38 degrees as the low, and we have a lot of consistencies with that on Thursday. Come Friday, sun will come back out, but only for 60-degree weather with a nightly temperature of 39 degrees. And then from Saturday to Tuesday, we see nothing but overcast and 60-degree temperatures. That's all I have this week. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. It's been a monumental turnout for young voters this election. Let's head over to Michaela Goose for more details. Michaela?
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, today marks day 15 of early voting in Texas, and 2016's voter turnout has been completely blown out of the water. So far, the total voter turnout in Texas is 288,732, while the total Texas turnout for the entire 2016 election was 228,841. Now, Texans have also doubled the amount of mail-in ballots received from the 2016 election. Now, if you are one of the millions of Americans that have chosen to vote by mail this year, the Postal Service is recommending you send out your ballot today, or they might not arrive in time to be counted. Now, if you cannot mail it in today, they have also recommended you drop off your ballot at your polling place or a ballot drop-off box near you. And this year's election is bringing a new generation of voters, and some are even doing more. ntTV's Danielle Zachariah has more on how to get involved.
2020 has opened the eyes of many after almost a year of a worldwide pandemic and a fight for racial justice. The difficult year has motivated young people to not only get out and vote, but also sign up to work at the polls for the election. The flow of interest has created a diverse group of poll workers that can produce a big impact in votes. Paula Frade, who is a first-time poll worker, says she wants to influence minorities like herself to vote and educate others about the candidates.
I am a political science major. I'm very interested, obviously in all of that in that aspect. And, a lot of people go to polling locations and not know exactly who to vote for. So they just kind of assume okay, well, they're Democrats, so I'll just vote for them. Or they're Republicans, so I'll just vote for them. So yeah, I really wanted to target more towards minorities and, educate on who is running and all of that.
The increase in election involvement could boost confidence in first-time voters and voters of color. For UNT sophomore Jaden Jeffrey, she says that the increase in young volunteers could increase young voter turnout.
If like other people, young people see that others are getting more involved, that would push them to like into motivation to start to vote.
Election officials are recruiting until the end of this month and are providing training both online and in person. Reporting for ntTV, I'm Danielle Zachariah.
If you are interested in becoming a poll worker, then go to workelections.com to learn more. Now, if you need a ride to the poll this election, Hertz Car Rentals might have your solution. The company is having a new promotion November 2nd and 3rd, where if customers rent a car for 2 days, they will receive 1 free day. Hertz says they hope this will make it easier for people to perform their civic duty. This promotion will be available across the country at neighborhood Hertz. Other car companies are offering a similar promotion, such as Lyft and Uber, but for more information on Hertz's deal, you can go to their website, hertz.com.
Thanks, Michaela. When we return, we've got a great place to satisfy your sandwich craving.
Plus a heartwarming press conference after Sunday's World Series. Stick around.
A small sandwich restaurant on campus is planning to relocate next year. Let's throw it to ntTV's Tyler Presley, where he has the meat of the story.
Thank you, Blake. If you've ever been to New York City, you know about its subway system, the brightly colored circles, maps, and signs everywhere. Now, this restaurant may have the theme of the New York City sub, but it is really known for another kind of sub.
A small sub sandwich shop is a classic hit among UNT students. New York Sub Hub has been on campus since 1980. Ken Christensen founded the restaurant. His son, Hunter, took ownership in 2012. The restaurant has used this building nearly since its founding.
But what most people don't realize, it used to be a house. And I looked up different deeds and this and that. I think I extrapolated it back to 1947 to 1949 and it was built.
But it may go away soon. UNT is buying the land it sits on through eminent domain. Both parties have already reached a deal, $1.4 million.
I actually got a call from the Denton Record Chronicle late February at like 5:30 in the evening, which, you know, I was like, who is this? And they're like, yeah, we just wanted to get a quote on the contract that your dad signed. And I had no idea what they were talking about. And apparently he had signed it 2 weeks prior and didn't tell anybody.
Currently, Hunter Christensen has a new location in mind. Another thing he has had to focus on is combating the coronavirus.
We are always cleaning and wiping things down now, which I would hope that other restaurants are doing the same. So thankfully we went into this not having to change too much, but obviously we're using the mask like everybody else. And then with that, hand sanitizers is another important part of it.
One of the Sub Hub's most popular sandwiches is the All Stops, which consists of cheese, turkey, ham, salami, capicola, roast beef, pepperoni, and vegetables. Christensen says running New York Sub Hub is his passion.
I'm a very active person. I move around. I'm not stuck behind a desk, which I don't want to do. Yes, I'm 3 weeks without a day off, but it's much more than just a job for me. It's just kind of like a lifestyle, and it has been for the better part of 20, 25 years.
Right now, the new location is set to be built off of McCormick Street and I-35. New York Sub Hub is planning to move there in the summer of 2021. That's all for Denton Eats Today. Jordan, back to you.
Well, Jordan, I have really been enjoying watching the World Series, but that might all come to an end tonight if the Dodgers win this game.
Well, let's head over to our sports anchor, Michelle Brooks, to see what we can expect from the Dodgers tonight. Michelle?
Thanks, Jordan. When we return, I've got the latest on the struggling NFC East, UNT football, and the World Series in Arlington. In another sad weekend for the NFC East, the Cowboys and Giants collected another loss for their seasons. 2 interdivisional games last week marked 2 wins for the conference, though. The Washington football team held the Cowboys from scoring a single touchdown on Sunday in a 25-3 loss. Not only have the Cowboys lost starting quarterback Dak Prescott from injury, in the third quarter on Sunday, backup quarterback Andy Dalton suffered a concussion on a hit to the head by Washington linebacker John Bostic. Bostic was ejected from the game but is not expected to be suspended. The Giants fell to the Eagles last Thursday as well in a much closer game, 21-22. The Eagles now sit at 2-4-1, and the Giants continue a mostly losing season with a record of 1-6. The Cowboys sit at 2-5, tied with Washington. The Cowboys will play the Eagles on Sunday at 7:20. It is unknown whether Dalton will be able to play. With all these losses, I am looking forward to some UNT football, and the Mean Green are back this Saturday for a spooky game after a bye week. The Mean Green will take on the UTEP Miners in El Paso. In a statement today, UTEP President Dr. Heather Wilson announced the game will be played without fans. Quote, "Miner fans have been terrific in following the best health practices at our games. At the same time, the disease levels around us are high, and in support of El Paso's efforts to keep people home, we have decided not to allow fans at Saturday's game. This is the first time the Mean Green will play without fans so far this season. In their most recent game, the Mean Green defeated Middle Tennessee 52-35 with the help from second-string quarterback Jason Bean. It is unknown which UNT quarterback will start for the Mean Green on Saturday." We are just a little under an hour away from Game 6 of the World Series, and just last Tuesday, the first game of the World Series was being played between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays right here in DFW at Globe Life Field. Tonight marks Game 6 of the series, and the Dodgers could win it all if they defeat the Rays tonight. LA leads the series 3-2, and with some exciting news for pitcher Clayton Kershaw, the momentum is in their favor. In Game 5 on Sunday night, Kershaw broke the MLB record for most strikeouts in postseason history. Kershaw will not play tonight. But after the big win on Sunday, Clayton Kershaw had a press conference. Jordan, I don't know if you have the chance to see it, but it's one of the most adorable press conferences ever.
And so, obviously a very special opportunity. My kids are a little tired, if you can't tell, and it's just a special thing to get to be a part of a team like this and get to be a part of some of those names. Hey.
Wow, and I thought Steph Curry's kids were adorable.
Me too, Jordan. It's not just the MLB and NBA with cute kids. The NFL has some too. Have you seen Antonio Brown's kids? Talk about cute.
Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.